Today, I want to talk to you about something I'm sure most of us have been experiencing lately: burnout, specifically quarantine burnout. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, Talks with Yaz. If you're new here, I'm Yaz, and here we talk about all things money, self-improvement, and travel. If any of that interests you, make sure to hit the subscribe button below and help me get to 1,000 subscribers in 2020. So about a month ago, I uploaded a video about the importance of self-care. I had been diligently practicing self-care until about 2 weeks ago. I don't know if you noticed, but I didn't upload last week. The reason is because these past 2 weeks have been tough. I am not gonna lie. I've been experiencing lack of energy and motivation and some mild anxiety. Now, I don't consider myself an anxious person at all. However, just like any other human being, I do experience it every now and then. A couple of days ago, I woke up with anxiety. Like, how do you wake up with anxiety? Aren't we supposed to wake up rested and refreshed? This is when I realized something was wrong. I put on my self-care video for motivation and immediately acknowledged I hadn't been practicing any kind of self-care for the past 2 weeks or so. I wasn't drinking enough water, I wasn't consuming enough fruits and veggies, I wasn't exercising at all, and I was spending too much time on the internet. Instead of practicing self-care, I had been indulging in self-destructive behavior like eating out and shopping online. This is where my anxiety and lack of motivation was coming from. After watching myself, I realized I had to get myself out of that funk. I reached out to a couple of friends and family. I vented a little. I Marie Kondoed this room. I went out for a walk. I bought some fresh groceries. Made some caldo de pollo because caldo de pollo always makes us feel good. I eliminated all social media and browsers from my phone. Me barrí con un huevo. I burned some sage, let the bad vibes out, and got my life back in order. I'm officially quarantine burnt out, y'all. It's tough. I've been in quarantine and working from home since March 16th. It's August. It's been 5 months. The novelty of quarantine is over. No more banana bread flooding your timeline. People aren't shaving their heads anymore. No more puzzles and board games. The novelty of quarantine has worn off and people are desperate to get back to normal. But the reality of the situation is that there is no back to normal. This is the new normal, at least for the next year or so. The truth is that we are still in the middle of a pandemic. There are currently 66,000 new COVID cases being reported each day in the US, and more than 1,000 deaths have been reported for the past 2 days in a row. Europe and Asia are beginning to see an increase in outbreaks. It seems they're starting the second wave while we're still trying to get out through the first one. I'm a millennial. I get it. Even me, a self-proclaimed homebody, am desperate for some social interaction. I'm so over this. I feel you. It's tough maintaining social distance, especially if, like me, you've been doing it since March. Or if you're a social butterfly, I know all of this must be killing you. But we have a bigger responsibility with humanity. A millennial is someone between the ages of 22 and 38. If you are part of this age group, I urge you to maintain social distance if your community is currently experiencing an outbreak. Millennials are key to stopping this virus because we are the main spreaders. Yes, we're young and we're healthy and we probably won't die, but many of us have parents and grandparents. This virus can be fatal to them. If we practice responsible social distancing measures, we are able to slow the spread of the virus. Now, I'm not saying lock yourself up and don't go anywhere. What I am saying is limit your interactions, wear a face mask. My friend called me up the other day to invite me to a birthday dinner. I wanted to go. I was so desperate to see people, have a cocktail, laugh, eat some restaurant food, but I declined. This is what I mean by limit your interactions. This dinner would have been an unnecessary interaction. Yes, I love my friends and I miss them deeply, but we are supposed to be practicing social distancing. I would have eventually had to have taken my mask off. All you need is one moment of carelessness to get infected. Imagine I get infected. I don't live with anyone high risk, but then I spread it to my friend whom I grabbed coffee with, who lives with her mother, who is currently battling cancer. This is how it spreads. You might have nothing to lose if you get sick, but keep in mind that it's very possible that you're going to spread the virus by the time you get tested. Now, yeah, you might not die, but what if you are that person that has to go to the hospital? Do you have health insurance? Can you really afford a hospital bill right now? Do you really want to go into medical debt all for a cocktail with friends? We need to be responsible and think about all the implications contracting the virus entails. If you live with elderly parents or grandparents, you are literally risking their lives. Several of my family members and friends have tested positive. I think we've all gone from not knowing anyone that had COVID to knowing someone within our own family or circle that got sick. It's expected that 80% of the population will contract the virus. I get the people that say, it's a virus, just like the flu. We're all eventually gonna get it. Might as well continue on with our lives. The reality is that if there's currently an outbreak in your city, hospitals are overflowing with patients, and on top of that, most are understaffed. If you get sick, ni pa donde le hagas. Yes, most of us are going to contract the virus, but right now is not the ideal time to contract it when there aren't any ventilators available and there's a shortage of medical staff. If you can delay it, that would be best. If there's an outbreak in your city, you don't want to be that person that has to go to the hospital. If you're liking this video, please give me a thumbs up. It really helps my channel. And if you haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? If you're working from home, continue to practice social distancing. If you are essential and have to leave home to work, then continue to practice social distancing after work. About 2 months ago, I thought the coast was clear. There were new cases being reported every day in my city, but nothing to get alarmed over. So I started socializing. I started visiting my sister. I visited my brother, some friends, some more family. I was living my life normally. Then I get the news that my nephew tested positive. I was terrified at the thought that I could have spread it to all these people I had interacted with within the past couple of days. I felt so guilty. Luckily, I tested negative, but I don't think I could have lived with the guilt of giving someone COVID and then having them spread it to a loved one. Ever since, I haven't left my house. I mean, I have gotten groceries, but that's about it. It's not worth it. My nephew got COVID about 6 weeks ago, and during that time, COVID has continued to ravage through my community. I live in a city of about 250,000 people, and every day we are seeing more than 100 new cases. Where I'm going with all of this is that we need to understand that we are all responsible for containing this virus. You might be young, you might be fit, you might be healthy, you might not have grandparents that live with you. That doesn't mean you should be reckless. Like the saying goes, hay que poner nuestro granito de arena. We all have to contribute to our community in some way. It's very easy to just say yes to social gatherings, yes to eating out, yes to cookouts, yes to birthday celebrations, and yes to cheap flights when you see everyone else is doing it. But we can't be reckless. We could very well not catch anything, or we very well could. Are you willing to risk your health in the middle of this massive outbreak? Once we start seeing a downward trend, then we can continue with our lives. But right now is not the time. I'm so over quarantine. as is anyone else living in this country. But we have to be patient. If you have family members whose health can be endangered, don't risk it. Don't risk your own health. I get it. It's tough to be optimistic all the time. I just got out of a 2-week funk, and it's okay to go through down times, but you don't want to be down for too long. If you're feeling anxious and want to break quarantine, get yourself up, practice your self-care, go for a walk, eat some fresh fruits, declutter, journal. You choose. Just make sure you choose you first. Put your health first. Don't wait for the government to tell you what to do. Have some common sense. Let me know if you've been feeling some quarantine burnout in the comment section below, and tell me how you're dealing with it. Also, if you enjoyed this video, leave me some emojis below. Thanks for watching, and see you guys on my next video.